Have you ever thought what you might tell yourself if you go back in time and give yourself advice? Well, besides dating advice, I've got things that I think a lot of cruisers would tell first-time cruisers if they could, up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Have you ever thought you wish you knew what you know now? Well, this applies to going on a cruise as well, and experience teaches us many lessons. After you take a few cruises, you'll start picking up on trends and nuances as a first-time cruiser you simply were not aware of before, and many of these lessons are generalizations, but they tend to be the opposite of what a lot of people who are new to cruises think about when they plan a vacation. So, in the spirit of helping everybody have a better cruise, I wanted to share some of the major things that I've noticed repeat cruisers do only after they cruise a lot. So I've got my list of the top 5 things a veteran cruiser would tell someone new to cruising about the reality of going on a cruise. Number 1, you will become less picky in choosing a cruise to book. When you first start out cruising, picking which ship and itinerary to sail on resembles like the NFL draft in the complexity of weighing choices, but that process simplifies greatly after you start sailing a lot. People that cruise a lot look for pretty much any excuse to go back out to sea. So the decision on which ship or itinerary becomes far less critical than it seemed earlier on when they first started cruising. Quite often, repeat cruisers need very little impetus to book something because we love going back on a cruise so much. So it's really compelling to just book whatever is reasonable. New ship, new itinerary, a long weekend? Sure, why not? We'll go back on a cruise. After all, a day on a cruise ship is better than any day on land. The next thing that people that cruise a lot would tell someone who's brand new to cruising is that crew members are super important. When you first start cruising, it's easy to notice how helpful crew members are, but the more you cruise, the easier it is to notice the superstar crew members. Because people that cruise a lot meet many different crew members along the way, when they meet a waiter, a concierge, a hotel director, or an entertainer that truly stands out from the rest, those repeat cruisers will recognize the cruise talents and often seek out that crew member specifically. Ask a veteran cruiser who their favorite crew members are, and many of them can rattle off a list of memorable cruise line employees that they've had the pleasure of cruising with over the years. Some cruisers even go as far as to book a specific ship based on which concierge, genie, host, or staff are working on a particular vessel. Next up, you don't really have to worry about getting seasick. First-time cruisers are usually very concerned about if they'll get seasick on a cruise because they're not sure what to expect when they go on a cruise ship for the first time. But the more you cruise, the less of concern getting seasick becomes. It's kind of like going ice skating for the first time. Your first time on the ice, your primary fear is you're going to fall and it will dominate your thoughts. What's going to happen if I fall? What happens if I fall? I'm going to get hurt? Oh no, right? But as you practice and get better, you know that you might fall, but in reality, it's not really a major concern anymore. The same is basically true about getting seasick. Sure, you might get seasick on a cruise ship, but repeat cruisers know that the symptoms are easily treatable, and as a result, it really doesn't matter that much. I think something a lot of repeat cruisers would tell first-time cruisers is that cruise prices are a game. How do you get the best price for a cruise? Well, first-time cruisers probably approach booking a cruise like other forms of travel, but repeat cruisers know there is an ebb and a flow to prices, and having all sorts of strategies for locking in the lowest price. The key is to book your cruise as early as you can and vigilantly check prices up until the final payment date and then rebook if there's a lower price. In addition, you shouldn't be afraid to walk away from a sailing if this pricing simply does not make sense. Sometimes an itinerary or a sailing looks really good, but the price does not match up with what's practical, and repeat cruisers know that it's probably best to wait it out. Perhaps the price will drop later, or it may not, but there are plenty of other fun sailings to consider. And the last thing that repeat cruisers would tell first-timers is that special sailings are big events for fans. There are certain types of sailings in which repeat cruisers absolutely love to go on, and they flock to booking these. Transatlantics, inaugural sailings, and repositioning cruises are just some of these really special sailings that repeat cruisers absolutely love. In short, veteran cruisers look at these cruises as badges of honors. There are cruises that are different from the rest and have a certain je ne sais quoi about them that make them so desirable to book. In addition, these cruises tend to be reunions of sorts, where a lot of repeat cruisers that know each other will book it so they can see friends from past sailings. So these kinds of, again, transatlantics and inaugural sailings become almost like homecomings and class reunions, if you will, among cruise fans. So first-time cruisers might discount all these sailings as, okay, whatever, these are kind of one-offs or really long sailings. Why would I want to do these? But in reality, Repeat cruisers love these sailings because it's kind of almost like a club meetup, an opportunity to see friends and kind of reconnect with everybody out there. So there you have it. 5 things I think that people that cruise a lot would tell first-time cruisers, things that don't necessarily stand out from the pack. And if you're new to cruising, I'm sure some of these may seem really odd, but the more you cruise, the more all 5 of these will start to resonate with you. And I'm willing to bet there's a lot of folks who are watching this video right now who've cruised a couple times, and you know what? I remember when I thought the other way or the opposite of what Matt just said there. Let me know in the comments which of these have you experienced before, which of these are right. Would there be any other advice you would give to a first-time cruiser? Post your suggestions in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And of course, it really helps if you hit that like button below this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that way YouTube lets you know when we have a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.